Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play The Binding of Isaac. This is a very, very special episode, and I have a very special guest. This, here with me, is Edmund McMillen, obviously the designer of The Binding of Isaac. Pleasure to have you aboard, Ed.
Pleasure to be here. I see that this video is only 22 minutes long. That either you are the fastest player in the world, or you die.
You're not supposed to look at the length of the video.
I want to see something magical happen. There better be some really awesome ending to this.
Well, you know, it's funny because I've been trying for the past few videos to do kind of a speed run, because obviously the game needs a little extra challenge, right? But haven't really succeeded very well at that. And yes, you're probably spoiling it, but indeed I do not complete the game, but I get fairly far.
Well, we'll just see. Oh, You've gone fetus. You've gone full fetus.
And I kind of like getting fetus, and that's why one of the reasons I thought this would be a cool video to do the co-commentary over, because it's one of those kind of audience favorites, I think.
Yeah, and knowing that, I actually added a few items in the expansion that people will actually really like if they like the fetus. There's actually there's little like challenges in the expansion, and one of the challenges is to beat the game as Dr. Fetus. So it like uses it as a character, like you start as Dr. Fetus.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then something epic unlocks when you do that.
That's nice. So you could actually like choose to be Dr. Fetus basically from the get-go?
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, because Fetus in a jar seems like a kind of exceedingly rare drop, so that would be a really good way to play.
I'm pretty sure it actually is. I think it's one of a handful of rare ones. I think it's as rare as the 1-up.
Oh, really? I've been getting the 1-up a lot, but
I think that the 1-up might be more common because the 1-up is also exclusive to the secret room, and since the secret room only has like 6 items, I think total that you can get there, it's the rarest of the 6, but it's still, you know.
Yeah, it's actually good to have you on board to answer these questions that normally when I do a video, I'm like, I don't really understand how this works, but...
Yeah, I actually hate spoiling it, but yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Yeah, I mean... for people who are watching this episode, this is going to be something like episode 125 of this Let's Play so far, so these people have put in the time, both with the game and the video series. They probably deserve some answers.
I watched probably the first 15 of your Let's Plays.
Damn, that's actually more than I've watched. Actually, I meant to ask you, like, well, first let's talk about this for a second. You can see, you know, 22 minutes, it seems like I have no chance, but I'm already finishing the basement part 2 very early.
If you grab the shovel here, though.
Fetus in a jar.
If you grab that shovel, you could have speedrun it.
Yeah, but I was kind of... The shovel oftentimes puts me in a bad position because I skip item rooms and then I get lazy and I end up doing poorly on later floors.
Yeah, well, you got to go hardcore. Like, if you went fetus from the beginning, then shovel, and then just didn't grab anything and went all the way down and prayed.
Yeah, maybe.
You could probably do it, maybe.
I've actually seen people on YouTube that have beaten the game in something like... I swear to God, this is going to sound crazy, but I thought I saw a guy do it in under 10 minutes.
I haven't seen that. I'd like to see it. I mean, it seems theoretically possible, but I mean, it seems like, well, it depends on what you're beating it at. Like, if he's just beating the heart, then yeah, then it's probably doable, but...
it was all the way through to Satan.
That's impossible. Like, how would you be powerful enough to... God, I gotta get rid of that bug. See that?
What happened?
That stays like that? I have no idea how that happened. But I fixed it already, I just haven't put anything up.
It was kind of one of those questions I wanted to ask you now that you mentioned that bug, because I actually did not notice that at all, but can you actually, like, enjoy yourself when you play the game, or are you always, like, looking out for tiny imperfections?
Right now I'm totally looking for imperfections. I'm going through again and trying to rethink some things and how to make things a little bit better, and it's actually a bit difficult because when you add, so there's a bunch of stuff that's been added to the game. Like right now, I think we have about 40-something items, new items that are in.
Okay.
Which are pretty damn fun, and like just replaying the game now with all these new items it just feels like a new game, even though like there's no new game in yet. It's just items.
Yeah.
But there's some items that are very, very different than anything in the game. And very fun to play with and just kind of change the way things play. But in a lot of ways, some of it makes it easier because now there are ultra rare items that are in shops that cost what is it? They cost 20 coins,
okay.
But they're very overpowered, and so it's worth it, the risk of losing everything. There's lard.
Yeah, and lard is kind of one of those items that I hesitate to pick up every time I get it.
I mean, it's probably worth the hearts, especially when you only had 2 in the beginning.
Yeah, the problem is that I also got a speed down pill when I was in the secret room, so...
So you're waddling your way to...
Yeah, and I've actually had a lot of runs where I thought I was going to do fairly well, and then speed down, like get a couple of speed down pills by accident, and they just totally screwed me over.
Yeah, well, once I've actually... Well, only once. I got number 1, the P...
Okay, yeah.
And then I got 2 range downs, and my range was actually too low to complete the game. Because
really?
In Chapter 2, there was an area where the guys that shoot the flies out...
Yeah, yeah.
They were in the middle of the screen that shot at, and I couldn't reach them, and that was it. that was the end.
Well, it seems like a good time to ask the question then. Are there any items that are like your least favorite in the game? Because I know number 1 is actually one of my least favorite items in the game, and it's single-handedly ruined at least a couple of my runs.
I actually really like number 1. I'll always take that. The items that I think are the worst... Mom's pad is probably one of the worst items.
Yeah, I don't like that one either.
I don't know. Weapon-wise, I'll pick up everything and anything. Like, I'm down with whatever happens usually.
I usually skip over. Probably number 1 is pretty bad for me. Just I don't know, because of the way I play. Mom's pad and Mom's bra, I'm not huge fans of, but in particular, Lemon Mishap. I just have no luck with that.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. There's a new item in the game that's like a good version of Lemon Mishap, which is
okay. When there was that glitch right after release when you could use Lemon Mishap on a room and then leave and fight the boss again and get another item.
Oh yeah.
I actually thought that was intentional to make Lemon Mishap kind of a half-decent item.
I don't think we fixed that though. It's not in anymore?
I've tried it again, but it hasn't worked since.
Are you sure it was in, or wasn't it? It might have been something actually else that was... Did it always work? Could you reproduce that?
I had someone leave a comment on one of the early videos, and then I tried it myself in a video, and it worked. So I guess, I didn't repeat it, but it seemed pretty repeatable at that point.
Weird. Well, I should probably try to shy away from talking tech, because I mean, right now I'm in the mind frame of fixing and editing, so I probably shouldn't even discuss bugs, because that's like where my mind is right now. And
well, sorry, I didn't mean to get you back.
No, I'm just saying,
but...
I need to be conscious of that. Yeah, there's I don't want to spoil items either, but there are some really awesome bomb-related items in the expansion that are pretty fucking cool.
Okay. I know there was some in the DLC that came for Halloween.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to make bombs better, because I know bombs are always really fun to use, and I wanted to be able to like make them a bit better, like upgrade bombs.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Like until I got something like 85 hours into this game now, but until like episode 80 or whatever, I'd never really used bombs in combat. But I think, actually just the addition of Satan actually clued me into the usefulness of bombs, because in particular you can get some good bombs in on the Fallen just before he spawns, and Satan's second form as well is pretty good for that. Yeah,
exactly. Or yeah, Mom's Heart, I always did that too, to try to, for testing, I would, whenever you'd hit her, and then after she'd spawn something and you kill the last thing that's there, you drop the bomb under the heart and then, repeat. You could just continue to do that the whole time.
That's pretty much my exact strategy for Mom's Heart.
Yeah. Yeah, but the one thing I'm mulling over is the idea of, so like right now, it's not actually in the game yet, but it's on paper as far as something I'm going to do. And this is all exclusive info that you get for this.
Oh, thank you.
There's going to be 5 new chapters.
Okay.
And these chapters are alternate chapters of the existing chapters.
Okay.
So like the first alternate chapter is the cellar, which everybody thinks is the attic, but it's actually the cellar.
I thought it was the attic. Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't actually go up.
Okay.
But so when you go in, you don't have a choice in the matter, but so the first level could be cellar 1, the second level could be basement 2.
Okay.
Or vice versa, or it could just be cellar 1, cellar 2, whatever else. And each of these alternate areas looks different, has different enemies and different bosses.
All right.
And then some of them actually have different new rooms. There's a bunch of new room types. There's like, I think, 6+. There's a bunch of hidden, really secret ones and really obscure ones. But certain ones are exclusive to certain areas, and every area kind of plays differently, because there's also different interactive things. Like in Chapter 2 here, you see What's the one I introduced in here? Oh, like holes in the ground.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Like the seller's focus instead of flies is spiders.
That
So
sounds terrible.
there's spider webs and there's lots of little spiders and spider related bosses and
Do
there's
they have like mechanics similar to the hoppers and the levers where they jump around?
there are those. There are others too though that are pretty cool.
Alright, that sounds like they're probably going to be my worst nemesis, actually.
Well, they're early on, so they're not that hardcore. The later ones are a bit crazy. But yeah, I try to go out of my way to like make... Nice, you flipped that well.
Yeah, that was a good turnaround.
How the hell does that work? You get the knife and bombs?
Good question. I should be asking you that.
I've never seen the combo. What do you do here? Shoot.
Well, I'm charging it up right now. I think it might do more damage.
It must. It looks like it just doing a shitload of damage. I've never seen that combo, so yeah, I don't know.
That's kind of the beauty of the replayability of the game is that, I don't know, there's something like 100, 120 different items, so I can't even run the math for the permutations for that. It's crazy.
Yeah, and then the new one it'll be about 200 items. So like, yeah, there's no way to even figure out. Like I think for the first 2 weeks of the game when it launched, there was this really awesome combo where it was Tammy's head and the mirror.
Okay.
And, Tammy's head, the mirror, and the feather, the
homing shots?
The not homing shots, but the ones that penetrate.
Piercing shots.
Piercing shots.
Yeah.
Those three together would make like this really awesome. Like I didn't even realize they all affected what came out of Tammy's head. So all of there were very powerful tears that come out of the head. The tears would go out and then they would come back to you. and you could actually run around the screen and they would follow you depending on your range.
Oh, that's
and just
awesome.
go through everybody and just kill everything. You could since you could do that every level or every room.
Yeah.
You could
Tammy's head recharges once every room.
It's pretty awesome. There's a new head. There's a new head in the expansion that is right now my favorite item in the game by far.
But you're not going to tell me what it is?
No. Well, it would spoil a lot of really fun stuff, but it's another head, and it's another Recharge 1 item, which is really awesome.
Okay, well, I think it's better that way. Keep it a surprise.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of new things to balance out the new items. Like there's going to be stuff to make it more difficult, but also more surprising, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I was really curious to see what you would do because when I heard you were adding, was it 5 new floors?
Yeah.
When I heard you were adding 5 new floors, I just assumed those would be tacked on to the end.
Nah, that kills. That would totally kill the game. Like you can't. I don't ever want the game to run longer than the average. I don't want it to go more than like an hour and a half at most.
Yeah.
It's just this grueling. I don't want that to happen. But I want it to be different, and I want more randomness to happen.
I think it's the right direction to go because I don't know the game right now. I've got a lot of hours into Isaac, more than almost anybody I know. And I'm still only probably batting around 500 when it comes to succeeding at beating Satan. So, if you added 5 more floors at the end of the game, I think it would just be borderline impossible.
There's going to be a new floor at the end that you have the choice.
Okay.
To either go to the new floor or go to fight Satan. And I guess probably depending on what you have done yet. Because, of course, there's a new character, and then there's, of course, going to be a new floor at the very end that you can go to. And then each of the characters are going to have items that unlock when you beat that floor with them. So there's a reason to actually complete it with each person, like per usual. And this floor will definitely be harder than Satan's floor. So
fantastic. How can you make it harder? It's already... The third floor has my least favorite room that I could possibly imagine, and that's 2 greeds, and you can sometimes get a fistula in it as well.
Yeah.
It's just impossible for me to dodge anything in there. I can't imagine a room harder than that. I don't want to imagine a room harder than that.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's it hasn't even been made yet, but I know what I'm doing, and I know.
Well, it's good.
It'll have a couple new kind of characters that'll make things a bit harder.
Okay. I was interested because you said you're adding a new character in the DLC. Do you have a favorite character that you normally play as?
I honestly really like playing as Eve.
Playing as Eve?
Yeah.
Really? Why?
I just like I like her design. I like the idea of sacrificing life in order to get stronger, and I like the risk involved.
That's so surprising to me because I was coming into this wanting to, I don't want to say rake you over the coals, but being like, I think Eve is really imbalanced. I don't think she's on par with the rest of the characters.
Yeah, I really like her, and there's some stuff in the new expansion too that will like make her much stronger too. Like
Okay.
like she just combos really well with things. There's a bunch of new items that revolve around self-sacrifice, damaging yourself in different ways, and being rewarded for that.
Okay.
And since she's all about that, like she's all about the reward for damaging yourself.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
I really like her because she plays so differently. Like to play well with Eve, you need to take damage.
Yeah, that's
And,
absolutely true.
And if you can work around that, you're really good, especially early on. I honestly think early on she's one of the most powerful characters because of the bird.
I can agree with that. For me, it's the fact that she starts with such little base damage that it's like, if you don't get a damage upgrade, I find it impossible to progress past, like, even to the point where we're at right now.
Yeah, I never had much trouble with her. No.
And it's funny because I get a lot of comments like that as well. They're like, you suck so much with Eve, how do you not beat the game with her, like, every single time?
If you like, you could usually just step back and let the bird take care of things.
Yeah.
And then in her like her final form, if you play strategically around it, like it depends on what the soul hearts, like grabbing them after you've turned into the demon. And like it's just perfect. Like if you could go into that, you just gotta watch your damage, and then like when she's in demon form, she magnifies, she multiplies your damage. She doesn't make your damage just go up. It
I
actually
didn't know that.
a multiplier. So it's really good. It's basically like using the Book of Belial when she's in that form.
But it, like every rune, if you can maintain that.
Yeah, if you can maintain it, you have it for forever.
Does that multiplication effect work with the Whore of Babylon item as well?
Yeah, same thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
So you're inspiring me to try out Eve maybe the next time I do a run.
she's risky, but I mean that's one of the reasons why I like her. Like she's a risky character, and I like that. I like the whole risk reward thing, and it's pretty fun. But yeah, like yeah, I'm trying not to spoil things, but she does some fun stuff. And the fact like another one of my favorite items in the game is the Razor Blade, which is ridiculously overpowered at times if you've got a lot of life. It's another one of those, if I take damage, I gain from it. And it's pretty fucking cool.
But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Razor Blade either. Just different playstyles, I guess.
The Razor Blade gets ridiculously powerful. Like if you have high damage and you hit yourself 4 times or whatever, I think you've got like _2 damage.
So it kind of multiplies as well?
Yeah, it's It's anything that like does damage like that, like the book, the Razor Blade, the Whore of Babylon. They're all multipliers. They're not just damage upgrades.
Okay.
It's it multiplies your damage eventually by a lot. But,
so I'm going to ask you, like, look at where I am right now. Look at the amount of health that I have. The amount of upgrades that I have with, like, the knife. Now the Pretty Fly and the Super Meat Boy upgrade. What would you classify my chances of success as right now?
I would say they're pretty high. That's why I was surprised to see... Jesus Christ. Like, yeah, I mean, you've got, like, the most powerful item in the game that's being multiplied by Dr. Fetus, and a shitload of other things.
And then I make the ultimate mistake, I think.
Yeah, this used to break the game, and that doesn't anymore.
Yeah, and I think I'd never really got out of that mindset.
Yeah, seems like a good idea. But right now, I think all you did was... Actually, does it recharge? I think it might recharge a little faster now.
I think, yeah, I agree with you there, but it definitely, like, it used to do just insane damage.
Yeah, I don't think
it still kind of does because it's Mom's knife, but...
Yeah. You got a full little meat boy going on there, too.
Yeah, but oftentimes I find him as much of, like, a possible detriment as a benefit.
Yeah, hey, Tammy said, there you go.
Yeah, I can skip past that, though. I'm happy with my Book of Revelations right now.
Yeah, Meat Boy tends to grab bombs sometimes, bring them to you.
Yeah, particularly on, like, Mom's hard boss fight. I almost don't want a 3rd-tier Meat Boy by that point.
Look at him go.
But he's good at taking out these early enemies. When I first started playing the game, it took me probably 10 or 12 plays before I even beat Mom for the first time, which I think is kind of the way the game is intended. But Meat Boy was essential for me at that point.
Yeah, I mean, well, the Book of Revelations is the ideal item. That's, I think, the best usable item in the game.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Get the fucking dollar.
What's the point, though?
Yeah, I honestly, I feel like the dollar, I'm pretty sure it's a 0.5 chance of getting the dollar.
I've had videos where I've gotten it twice in one.
I know, and it seems way more possible than it is. And there's also a 1% chance of it just blowing up.
Oh, really? I don't see that very often.
I don't know, yeah, it seems odd. But again, I'm getting into the tech stuff. I'm like,
yeah, behind the scenes.
Why the probabilities seem so wrong? You have to totally win.
Yeah, but then Meat Boy just blew that bomb back into me. I also have Mega Bombs, so I'm not sure if those do more damage to you, more than the traditional one heart, but...
No, everything in the womb and beyond will do one full heart of damage.
Okay.
That's what it is. And nothing does more than that.
So even champion enemies will still only do...
Only full, yeah.
Okay.
You must get hit by a... Wait, you didn't die? Oh, you're going all the way, huh?
I'm going all the way.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm going to try to go all the way anyway.
Yeah, in the new expansion, too, there are new dropped items, or pickup items, that are ultra rare. So every drop, like a heart, what is it? Heart, coin, heart, coin, key, bomb, each have their own ultra rare version.
Okay, yeah.
Something extra special. And then there's of course trinkets, which are the rare version of tarot card / pills.
Right, and those just give you a permanent passive benefit, right?
Yeah, and those can get really cool. I was pretty surprised at some of the playthroughs with just having those in the game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that because again, it just adds another category for randomness to kind of occur.
Yeah, and some of them are pretty cool. They're also there are more cursed items. So Guppy is the only cursed item in the game right now. No one picks up the dead cat. But in the expansion, there's going to be more cursed items that... Oh.
Well, we all knew how that was going to end anyway.
There aren't necessarily... There's a balance. There's more of a balance to them. It's not just a curse. But that was too bad that ended.
Yeah, it's all good. Well... Do you like Ed or Edmund? I kind of feel weird calling you Ed.
I don't care. At this point, everybody calls me Ed.
All right, cool. Well, Ed, it's been a pleasure having you. Thanks for doing this co-commentary. We're really looking forward to the Wrath of the Lamb expansion. That is still, it's coming out when it's finished, right?
It's coming out when it's finished. Status-wise, I am, it's, honestly, there's more work for Florian this time. I'm able to just blast through items.
Okay.
And I put... 50 items and 20 trinkets in, and he's got 20 trinkets and 40 items in. And then we've got to go into creatures, and you've got 20 new creatures and 10 new bosses and shitloads of new levels. And it'll take a little while, but I don't see it taking longer than actual development of the main game. So
of course, yeah. All right, and thanks for joining me.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for inviting me on, and thanks for doing so many of these Let's Plays. Honestly, I really enjoy watching them, and I appreciate it more than people realize.
And just as a personal aside, again, thank you not only for The Binding of Isaac, but also for your work on Super Meat Boy. Those are kind of the two games that have propelled my channel to whatever level of success it has right now. So I do really appreciate that.
Well, hopefully in about 2 years, you will have a new Team Meat game that will be a combination of Meat Boy and The Binding of Isaac.
That is, you just put that on the box right now. All right, man. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
All right, thanks for watching, guys.